Why is Yamcha the true Jesus of Dragon Ball Z? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. So Goku, because he is the protagonist, he gets the most spotlight in Dragon Ball. But that doesn't mean that he is the Jesus of Dragon Ball, especially when we're talking about the Saiyan Saga. And in the Saiyan Saga, obviously Goku's the one that shows up right at the last minute, and he kinda defeats Vegeta, right? I mean, everybody kind of defeated Vegeta, right? For the most part, Yajirobe, Krillin, Gohan, I mean, all of them had to deck the dude in order for him to go down. So did Goku really save us? Maybe. But what I want to focus on is what happens with Yamcha in this saga and why this makes him the true Jesus of this saga. Now, when we first start this encounter with the Earthlings and the Saiyans, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo are the ones that first arrive, right? And they actually start fighting. They're struggling quite a bit until backup shows up. And then for our backup, we have Tien, Chaozu, and our boy Yamcha. Now, it is at this point that our short king Vegeta decides that instead of having an all-out brawl, we'll have a mini tournament, a nod to Dragon Ball. Now, Tien goes first and he makes short work of that Cyberman. And then next up, it was going to be Krillin, and pay attention to this. However, as we all know, the next one that goes up is Yamcha to meet his death. But before we get there, you gotta understand that there's a specific conversation that maybe a lot of you don't remember about this scene. So when Krillin is gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go fight, Yamcha interrupts him and say, hey, Krillin, I'm gonna go next. Why does he say this? He tells him, remember, you've already died once. And if we go back to Dragon Ball, as we remember, Krillin died after he leaves a dinner and gets killed by one of Piccolo's minions at the time. So Krillin cannot be wished back to life, at least so we think. Yeah, Dragon Ball. Anyways, it is in this moment that Yamcha says to Krillin that he is going to go next. Yamcha is going to sacrifice himself because he knows something is going to happen in this fight that is going to put his life in danger. Sound familiar? When Jesus met with his disciples, he said, there's no greater love than this, than for a man to lay down his life for his friends. And this is exactly what Yamcha does at this time. I mean, Goku wasn't even willing to die for his friends. But our boy Yamcha was. And he went. And in fact, I know that Yamcha gets a lot of crap, and a lot of you look at him as pathetic. But if you look at the fight, he actually holds his own against the Cybermen, and he actually does pretty well. What happened is that he unfortunately dropped his guard, and that is when the Cyberman takes advantage and he blows himself up. I mean, come on. Who would have guessed that this dude was just gonna grab him and blow himself up? Nobody would have thought that. So I don't blame Yamcha. I actually blame the artists for drawing him in such a weak position, which kind of earned him all of this bad rep that he has today. However, this doesn't change the fact that in the Saiyan Saga, Yamcha acted more like Jesus than Goku ever did. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you remember these facts from this fight? Let me know what you think, and as always, just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.